released this morning and taken by the fashion photographer Mario Testino. This photograph will be in tomorrow's official souvenir programme and order of service. And now we know about the music too. This is the coronation anthem that Kate will walk up the aisle to. It's called I Was Glad by Sir Charles Hubert Hastings Parry. As the choir starts to sing, she will begin her 3.5-minute procession with her father Michael by her side. Other music tomorrow will include the hymn Jerusalem, Guide Me, O Thou Great Redeemer, and Love Divine, All Loves Excelling. There'll also be the traditional English melody, Greensleeves. In the lead up to the wedding, there's been much speculation about whether or not Kate will promise to obey her husband. Now it's been confirmed she won't, but she will promise to love, comfort, honour and keep him. When the couple sign the marriage register, Prince Charles and the Duchess of Cornwall will be there to witness it, and so will Kate's parents and her sister Philippa. Her brother James will have an important role too. He's been asked to read the lesson. Included in the biblical passage is a plea to love one another with mutual affection and live in harmony with one another. Siobhan Tai, BBC News.
So this is where the wedding procession after the ceremony is over will begin. The couple and their entourage will leave Westminster Abbey. They will end that procession at Buckingham Palace, and the BBC's Gabriel Gatehouse is there. Gabriel, this business about the guest list is quite a minefield. The controversy about the Syrian ambassador isn't the only one at this wedding.
No, that's right. The Syrian ambassador is just the latest in a whole series of difficulties that both the palace and the government have faced over this guest list of 1,900. We've had the Crown Prince of Bahrain, who had to come out himself, we suspect under a certain amount of pressure, to decline the invitation, even though he was invited due to the difficulties going on in Bahrain. There's been some question here amongst MPs from the Labour Party, in power until last year, about why former Prime Ministers Tony Blair and Gordon Brown have been left off the list, while their predecessors, Sir John Major and Lady Thatcher, Margaret Thatcher, were on it. Now, what the palace and often the government say is it's all a matter of protocol. So with ambassadors, if we have diplomatic relations with a country, then the ambassador's invited. With royalty, you know, if you're a royal head of state, then you're invited. If you're not a royal head of state, then you're not. But of course, protocol is what you make of it. This time round, Sir John Major and Margaret Thatcher were invited because they're orders, knights, members of the Order of the Garter. It's one of the highest honours here in the UK, whereas Gordon Brown and Tony Blair aren't. But last time round at Princess Diana's wedding to Prince Charles, all living ex-prime ministers were invited. So things change over time, and it is a difficult thing for both the palace and the government to keep everyone happy.
And tell me what it's actually like at the palace today. What are the preparations there like?
Right, well, there's bigger crowds that you can probably see behind me than there were yesterday. A definite sense of excitement building up along the Mall to my right, left in your picture. We've seen some of the palace guards marching with their big bearskin hats. Quite a strange spectacle in the way. A group of about 3 or 4 dozen of them marching, led by a rather hangdog-looking dog, also clad in a red jacket, and followed by the musicians ahead, and followed by some people with some more serious hardware, bayonets. Now, there are also crowds gathering over there to my left, and every now and then you hear a scream going up. I sort of assumed at first that it must be a member of the royal family coming out of Buckingham Palace, but not a bit of it. They're actually waving stars and stripes, and the people that they're cheering at appear to be American news anchors who are all gathered here in this media city. So I think William and Kate may have some competition for their affections, at least amongst some sections of the crowds gathered here tomorrow.
I have to say my impression yesterday was that at one point there were more of us journalists around Buckingham Palace than there were passers-by. But just tell me finally about the route. This is essentially the heart of ceremonial London, this area between the Abbey and the Palace.
That's right. So tomorrow, when the procession takes place after the newly married couple leave the Abbey at about 12:15 local time, they will travel through the heart of clerical, political and royal London, from the Abbey, which is, if not the most iconic churches in this country, then certainly one of the most, and certainly one of the oldest, through Whitehall, the centre of politics, with the Houses of Parliament in the background there, and then up the Mall with its red tarmac, which was designed specially to symbolise a red carpet up here towards Buckingham Palace, where then of course they will appear on that balcony over there for the much anticipated kiss. So they're really hitting all the posts, ticking all the boxes of ceremony, pageantry and power here right in the centre of London.
Gabriel, thank you very much indeed. Gabriel Gatehouse at Buckingham Palace. Now, one of the details that we won't know till tomorrow is actually the title by which Kate Middleton will be known. That is something that will be announced early tomorrow morning from the palace. And I can tell you that as far as Westminster Abbey is concerned, there are people who are already camping out. They're attracting a great deal of attention. They're really getting into the spirit of things with the Union flags and the odd princess-style tiara as well. Don't forget, full details on a special section of the BBC website, bbc.com/royal wedding, including details of exactly when the main elements of the ceremony will be taking place, so you can tune in from wherever in the world you are. Peter, back to you.
Michelle, we'll talk to you a little later, I know, in this half hour of BBC World News. Sarah joins us with the business news. Now, yesterday it was UK GDP and today it's US GDP.
That's